Good evening, and our today's subject is on logistics mainly, but it is covered under the umbrella of supply chain management. Okay, and the logistic is the part of supply chain, or logistic is a boss, or supply chain is a boss, or they don't have a boss and subordinate relationship. They are integral part of each other. So that is what we are going to see in today and tomorrow's session. Both the sessions will be completely focused on logistics. So this is how we discuss our subject of logistics today. Just to start the session, you can see a picture with some dates, some days, everything is written there, okay? And what is that exactly? That is the logistics lead time analysis we are talking. Okay, and what is that exactly? If I say from this diagram, it is very clear, okay? Okay, it's very clear, okay, that this is the first stage. Okay, this is the first stage. Anything, you can say a warehouse, or you can say, like for example, you can say a manufacturing premises, whatever you want to say, that is one thing. Then it's a global logistics. Okay, the material has to start from one country and it has to reach to another country. Good, so that is clear. So this is our stage one, where we are manufacture. Then it takes 5 days to reach to port of country of origin. Suppose say this is USA, for example, this is USA. Okay, so in the USA, one of the manufacturing premises, okay, from there to reach the port, say New York port, it takes 5 days. This is stage 2. This is stage 2, which is road transport, maybe rail transport, and this is called inland logistics because it is within USA. So the the factory is in USA, the port is in USA, so that's why it is called inland transport, and it takes 5 days. After that, with the help of ship, this takes 30 days to reach the country, say for example India. So it takes 30 days to reach Indian port. Okay, so at Indian port, then this is the flow. Okay, at Indian port, it takes 4 days for custom clearance. Sorry, it takes 7 days for custom clearance, stage 4. From here, then it goes to road transport, inland road transport, that is reached to Kerala, for example. So a state, one of the states, okay, Thiruvananthapuram. So in the Kerala, it has to reach by road transport within 5 days from Mumbai port. Maybe it may take some other port also. That's fine, but I'm just giving an example. Then ultimately, it reaches to the receiving or to the customer on 47th day. And that's why we have to remember one point very clearly, that in the logistics or in the transport, basically, most important point is the time. If suppose the time is not respected, the schedule is not respected, you cannot have what you call it, you cannot have your desired product to manufacture. Okay, so look at this, how the days are counted, how the hours are counted, and how this lead time analysis is critical in logistics or in supply chain, the way you want to speak it. Okay, so from this now, this was just to give you an idea. We monitor 30 days, 5 days, 7 days, 4 days, very critical, okay. So we monitor in the same pattern. Okay, so this is an important parameter which is being monitored in the logistics, and this is called logistics lead time analysis. Okay, now very basic things. Okay, what is this? What is logistics? If I go by Oxford Dictionary, the organization of moving, housing, and supplying troops and equipments. So this logistics was involved with, the definition was defined first in the army. Organization of moving a troop, an army battalion, moving, then putting them at particular housing, and supplying troops and equipment, supplying them the troops and equipment. That is logistic support. Army is at the war front, so you have to mobilize the equipments, gadgets, everything to them. So this is a process. This is the defined as an act of logistics. The organization of moving, housing means storage, and supplying troops and equipments. That is logistics. Oxford Dictionary. Okay. Now we'll understand it more. Logistics in supply chain management. Okay, logistics in supply chain management. This statement indicates that the logistic is an integral part of supply chain management. So from the point of origin to transport, storage, delivery, point of consumption. Okay, so logistics is a part of supply chain management. Is a part of supply chain management that deals with efficient forward and reverse services related information from point of origin to point of consumption, needs of customer to be met. Why the goods flows from manufacturing to the consumer? Because consumer need is for its consumption. Logistic management is a component that holds a supply chain together. So basically from this slide, takeaway is the logistic is an integral part of supply chain. It is related to movement of goods. Now this slide will make you more crystal clear concept. And this slide will give you a difference between supply chain management and logistics also. Even though they are integral part of each other, but still there is a difference. And what is that difference actually? The difference is what you see on my screen right now. Just look at these parameters. Supplier, transport, inbound transport, storage, manufacturing. You see from supplier, inbound transport, storage, manufacturing. So at this stage, up to this stage, raw material is reaching to the manufacturing premises, they manufacture. And then the finished goods are transported by road, by sea, by plane. Okay? And ultimately it reaches to the consumer. It reaches to the consumer here. This is a consumer. It is reaches to consumer here. So the process within the big blue block, this blue block, is the logistic process of movement of raw material, finished good, finally reaching in the hands of customer. Fine? But there is something extra also here. And what is that extra? Planning and improving. Planning and improving. And next is data analysis. See, somebody has to plan this whole thing. When the raw material will be shipped, what quantity of raw material will be shipped, what type of raw material will be shipped. Okay, everything is there. Somebody has to plan the raw material movement based upon the input received from the manufacturer. Okay, based upon the forecast received. So accordingly, they have to manage the raw material movement. Correct? Plan. It's a plan. Then what next? The next one is finished good from the manufacturer. It has to go to the consumer. So this also a plan. At which warehouse, at which distribution center, what will go. All these things are to be planned. And not only planned. Now when you made a plan, is your raw material moved in time? Did manufacturer make it properly? Did he able to produce the required quantity in the number of hours or in number of days? Did the product was in a good condition when it reached to customer? Did customer like our product or not? All these are data. And these are the data and information what we receive. But we don't sit idle on that data. We analyze that data. In one particular warehouse, when the product was finished, good was kept, the quality was bad. So we got 10% return. We got 10% failure. This process, which encompasses the logistics from supplier to the customer's hand, it's a movement of goods. But there is something more other than that, which is called planning and improvising the system, implementing the errors, correcting the errors, and by doing the data analysis, collecting the data, analyzing the data, and taking a course of correction and improvisation. These two phenomena, when they are integrated with everything, it becomes a supply chain. But the goods movement from supplier to this thing is handled by the logistic management. So this is how the logistics and the supply chain holds a very close relationship for each other, and that helps them out to have the complete successful journey of a supply chain management. Clear? So keep this in mind, that what extra we are doing in supply chain management and why the supply chain management will be the future. It's why it is the future of the industry. A very, very basic definition, okay? Supply chain is responsible for overall sourcing, processing, delivering of goods to end customer. Logistics specific focus on moving or storing goods between different supply chain organizations. So we read already this, okay. It has movement of goods, coordinating everything, correct? So this is how basically the plan goes, and the picture view is very clear. See, it's all coordination, planning, scheduling, okay, getting the data information. This is how the supply chain works as a one integral package. Logistic is given a task, specifically focus on the goods movements or movement of anything, raw material movement, finished good movement, like this. The logistic cycle is a complete list of activities from procurement of goods or material to their final delivery to the customer. Procurement, transport, delivery, warehousing, receipt, storage. See, the material movement, whether it's a raw material or it's a finished good, is a focused and central idea of your logistic cycles. Storage, transportation, packaging, inventory handling, everything. Logistics. So that is the logistic cycle. What is the role of logistics? The role of logistics is, now it's conceptually we got the things right, okay, now. Okay, so what is the role of the logistic? Transportation and delivery, yes, that is one thing. Storage, that means it includes warehouse management also. Packaging, that means you have to pack, either raw material need to be packed properly or the finished good need to be packed properly. And repackaging is also done. You may do a bulk packaging at manufacturing premises, but when you take it to the distribution center, so in the distribution houses, then they repack it for a small packets, okay, or they do a redistribution of the big size of container and packets into the small distribution channels, okay, packaging for small distribution channels, and accordingly distributes everywhere. Cargo handling, cargo management, when the global transport is happening, the cargo handling and the distribution. So this is one of the very high level critical responsibilities, roles of logistics. Information processing and many systems to deliver product from the factory to the consumer quickly and on time. Data, taking the data and giving it to supply chain. Because the logistics is doing a live activity of movement of goods, raw material and the finished goods. So that's why it is processing the information. The information it receives, that it receives a command from supply chain that change your distribution channel. If you are having 3 distribution centers across the country, redistribute your product this time, because the demand and supply has changed in one distribution region. So one distribution center covering the North India, one distribution channel is covering the Central India, and one distribution channel is covering the South India. So in that case, but this time South India is having more demand, so comparatively in that case compared to the Central India, so please transport more finished good to the South India, okay. So they are getting this information from supply chain management, and they are processing that information. They are executing that information. What is the next role now? Overall process of managing how resources are acquired, stored and transported to their final destination. Resource acquisition for transport, real work of logistics. Transport resource arrangement, storage resources, which warehouse to be used for temporary storage, which fulfillment center required to be used. So this is what the managing the resources, that is the roles of logistics. Logistics management involves identifying prospective distributors and suppliers and determining their effectiveness or accessibilities. It's very clear. Identifying the resources, who will do the job for them, logistic job. Tomorrow is going to be a more interesting phenomenon of 1PL, 2PL, 3PL, 5PL, 6PL logistic concept. Third party, 6-party logistic concept, because many players comes into picture in logistics, okay. So tomorrow we'll see that 1PL to 6PL thing, and green logistics also we'll see tomorrow, but today we are just covering up the basic concepts of this thing. Okay, now different classifications are there for the logistics, okay. So one classification is, say for example, the procurement logistics. What it does, it works mainly on procuring the raw material and sending that raw material, handing over that raw material from sourcing, purchasing, transportation, logistics, storage, everything to the manufacturing premises, factory, processing plants. Okay, so the theme is raw material handling. Clear? Good. Next is production logistics. So in the production logistics, what is there? Manufacturing processes, then product packaging is there, and then shipping to the warehouses or the distribution center. So what is the parameter which is handled here? What is the central idea which is handled here? Is the product, finished good. So that is called production logistics. Reaching to the warehouses, finished good. Okay. What next is? Next is sales logistics. And what we do in the sales logistics, by the way, transferring the product to the customer. You have a warehouse where your finished goods are stored. Okay, from there it has to go to different distribution channels, retail showrooms, it has to go to retail outlets, it has to reach to the customer hand finally. So that is the sales business coming into the picture, or the distribution logistics. Clear? So that is our distribution logistic. And what is the central idea again here in this case? Again, it's product, finished good handling. Finished good handling to reach to the customer's hand. Okay? There is one more logistic which is very essential now. Remember that we saw the supply chain, circular supply chain, straight line supply chain. Then I said that circular supply chain is very important now. Recycling has become an integral part of the system now. The products are labeled that this has been made of recycled by 30% recycling. So the 100% what is there in your hand, in that 30% has been recycled. So that means global resources, natural resources, you are consuming less by 30%. Okay, so that's recycling is being focused. So in the recycling, the product which you gave it to your customer, an iPhone, the customer has used that iPhone for 3 years, 4 years or 2 years. Now he want to go for the next model. So when he's going for the next model, company is providing a concept called give me back your old phone and I'll give you a discount, sufficient discount, and take the new iPhone. Okay, but that product which has been received at the retail outlet has to travel back to the manufacturing premises or the conditioning houses, which they will recondition them and resell it in the market, or maybe his component may be used. You getting my point? So the recycling is very important in the logistics, because it is directly reducing on the load on the natural resources. Getting my point? So this is called the recycle or the recovery logistics. When the expired goods, so-called expired goods, used already by the customers, consumers, by you and me, travels back to its destination for not for landfilling, but for the purpose of reuse. It could be partial reuse, that's a different issue. But objective is, don't throw it as it is. Take it out, use it somewhere, or recondition it, send it back to the customer again, to the new customers who want to buy second-hand goods, properly conditioned, reconditioned goods. That's your call. But recycle is an essential part of the global modeling, global business model, and the reverse logistics help us out, facilitate to do this job. Clear? By the way, this 7 hours are 7 hour, 8 hour, they are very common phenomena, don't worry, okay, and you will find them at many places, in supply chain, in logistics, entrepreneurship, many things. So if these 7 hours are known to you, you are very rich. If you are practicing them, you are very, very rich, okay. What is that? Right place. So you should know from where to pick up the material and where to drop the material, okay. Don't do a wastage of energy, wastage of transportation, wastage of logistics, okay. So 7 hour is knowing the right place, right product. Don't ship the product from A to B. When you wanted to ship a right product, don't ship the wrong product. So right product, right condition. It's when your customers are getting. I told one example. I gave you one example that when the customer was the rejection of your packaging, return of your return of your product in the particular region was found to be 10% or 15% this month. Okay, or this week. The reason is that because the customer was not liking your packaging, or you got a damaged packaging. So that's why, because of that, the condition you could not, even the product maybe inside may be good, but at the same time, because the packaging got damaged, maybe the product also might have got damaged. Okay, so you have to make sure that your product reaches in right condition, including packaging, product, everything. Right place, okay, right place we discuss. Right cost, it should be the cost should be optimized. Okay, like I was giving an example before, correct? Across the globe, the average logistic and supply chain cost comes around 7 to 8%. Okay, in India right now it is around 11 or 12% is there. Okay, definitely because of the good logistic infrastructure and things are moving on in that direction. But so the government of India and the industry, they are trying to bring down that logistic cost, because you know what, this is directly proportional to the cost, which is to reduce the cost of the product. If your logistic cost is reduced by 3%, you can definitely pass on that benefit to your customer. You can give the product 3% cheaper in the price. And specifically in the competitive era, where the cutthroat competition is happening between the companies, okay, if somebody is able to save, see, extra spending on logistics is a wastage, because nobody is able to reuse that extra 3% spending. So if you can reduce that cost, you can increase your profit margin, or at the same time you can offer your product at a cheaper price to your customer. It's a win-win situation. Right time, yes, we know that ultimately the first slide which I showed you for 47 days, that was just to trigger this point that there is a lead time analysis is always important. And lead time is directly important because all the subsequent activities are, with the help of that lead time, could able to materialize the next product and next cycle of supply chain. Right quantities, that is very important. And the most important thing is the right customer. The right customer means you are a customer, manufacturer is a customer. In this process, when the process starts and the process ends, if the raw material is starting and it is reaching to the hands of the manufacturer, so in this case, raw material manufacturer is a manufacturer, raw material receiver is the manufacturing company. So they are the customer. So it should reach to your customer. Same customer is becoming the manufacturer or supplier for the final customer, end customer. But in between, he is also a customer for raw material. So the customer stakeholder should be respected well in advance, so that you are able to identify your right customers, you are able to respect the right customer, and you are able to mitigate their, as soon as I say customer, that means customer is not a fancy word. Customer means somebody is ready to buy your product, but the product specifications are there in my mind, so he has some expectation. So try to meet his expectation. And his expectations are sometimes documented, sometimes not documented. So the right customer satisfaction is one of the critical R in the logistics. Okay. What we have now on our screen. I think in our first 2-3 sessions when we were discussing more on the supply chain, we discussed this point, inbound logistics. That is nothing but, that includes the inbound logistics, revision also. The inbound logistics include what? Raw material movement, okay? Procurement logistics, for example, okay? So it includes inbound logistics, supports procurement logistics because it deals with raw material. So raw material sourcing, placement of order for raw material, sourcing and warehousing, okay? Then the outbound logistics, which is what? Finished good, from the manufacturing premises to the distribution channel to the delivery. So that is outbound logistics. And then it comes reverse logistics. When the product has reached its life cycle, customer want to give it back. So he has two options, either throw it or give it to the company or somebody who buys a scrap. As a scrap they buy, or they buy for recycling, or the manufacturer outlet or retail outlet, they buy themselves. So that is return, repair, recycling, correct? So this is how the 3 basic logistics are classified based on inbound, outbound and reverse logistics, okay? Okay. Just quick, because we are looking at little academics also. Inbound logistics, material and goods brought into a company, order, receive, store, transport, manage supplies, okay? Transfer, supply part of supply demand, okay? Transfer to business, then process and sent to the customer. Raw material from fulfillment center to the warehouse is an example for this. Outbound logistics is what exactly? Customer places the order confirm, product paid, truck backup, driver distribute center, delivery driver drives packs, distribution center, package delivers to the customer. Guys, you are ordering the product from the Amazon and all, correct? Okay. Many this distribution channels are available. Exactly same outbound logistics. When you place an order online, your product reaches, if it is locally available, it reaches you in 1 hour or 2 hours. So on your mobile, when you click the button, you select the product and everything. What happens exactly? Your order goes to the system. The system is your order is confirmed. Either you do online payment or you do COD. Upon delivery, you make the payment on the delivery. And local distribution channel, whether if it's a small product, a biker will come to deliver it. They have their different channels on that. Or if it's a big product, it will come by a truck, local distribution, and that's all. And that is called a fulfillment center, because they may have a bulk packaging. But if you order only for 2, in that warehouse come fulfillment center, they will pack 2 products for you from the bulk of 1,000 or bulk of 100, and those 2 products will reach to you. Clear? So this is how the outbound logistics work to reach to the customer. And in this outbound logistic, there is one more criteria is there, which is first mile delivery, middle mile delivery, and last mile delivery. Okay. So what is that exactly? What it does exactly? Okay. So I'll tell you that. What happens exactly? The first mile delivery, suppose your manufacturing premises are located in one place, okay, that need in one country, okay. So from there, product has to reach within the same country, point number 1, okay, and from that place, if it is being sent to the another country, okay, in that case, it will be going by either by road, it is going by train, it is going by ships, anything, correct? So from here to that big destination within the country or across the country is the first mile delivery. Okay, first mile delivery. Finished good to the big distribution centers, first mile delivery. Now what happens? From this big distribution center, say for example, you have the distributorship for a state. So you will receive the goods through first mile delivery concept from the manufacturer. Now what you will do, you are a distributor for a particular region. And in that, you have 1,000 retail distributors. Clear? So what you do, when you distribute as a regional distribution center, when you send that product to that 1,000 retail counters, shops, it could be small warehouses, fulfillment center, anything, okay. So this is done by the middle mile delivery, okay. So first mile delivery we understood, middle mile delivery. Now we'll come to last mile delivery. The last mile delivery is nothing but it's simply nothing but from that retail distribution, it reaches to the hands of customer. So the last mile delivery is responsible for the goods in the hands of whom? Customer. There are many challenges in the last mile delivery that are happening, but thanks to this platform and portals, okay, which are allowing your goods to travel on the bikes, on the 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, okay, where customer is getting his product in his hand at his home. Or customer may travel a little nearby shops, small shops around to take the product, okay. So that helps you out to get the product finally in the hands of customer, and that is called the last mile delivery. The reverse logistics moves goods from customer back to the seller or manufacturer. Return, recycle, trade-in drives the process. Apple trade-in program, old product return to the factories, okay. So that is what Apple example I already gave it to you guys. Okay, so what are the major challenges? The major challenges in the logistics are labor and shipping shortage. Yes, labor issues happens, shipping shortages happen. You don't get the right slot to ship your product. Rising freight cost. Yes, the freight costs keep increasing because of inflation. Managing the complex system. By this time, we are clear that there are a lot of complex systems are there where we need to deal with them. Warehousing systems, fulfillment centers, manufacturing premises, raw material producer. So they are in itself they are a system. And when they put together, the synchronization, alignment makes them a challenge. So it becomes multiple systems together, makes it more complex. Handling customer expectation. This is ultimately the whole objective of this product life cycle. Ultimately, the product gets success only the day when it reaches in the hands of customer. So handling the customer expectation is very important. Goods reaches to USA from Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, okay, Pakistan, okay, finished good. But suppose suddenly the taste or the liking about particular design has changed in USA by that time. So what will happen? You're not able to sell your product. It will remain in the shelf and warehouses and fulfillment center. Then you will have to sell it at a drastic, at a drastic discount. That is how the things happens. Flexibility and expertise and experiences. Yes, there has to be an agile approach. Because see, when you are working with a complex system, you cannot be a rigid approach. When we are working even project management, supply chain management, entrepreneurship, whatever you work, okay, or operational management, there has to be a flexibility. It's not flexibility of human, it's a flexibility of processes and systems also. Of course, the persons who are handling such a complex system, they need to be flexible. There's no doubt in that. Their brain should be tuned to the agile approach, flexible approach, quick adaptability, yes. And expertise and experience is required. There's no doubt in that. There's no doubt in that. Improved customer satisfaction, yes. Handling customer expectation is one thing, and improving the customer satisfaction is a continuous process which you need to keep working on. So these are the major logistic challenges that modern business are facing. They are not new points. You guys know this very well. But remember, they still remain a challenge, and you have to work on those challenges when you are handling a logistic business. So with this, I'm opening up my